Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grow with Greg. Today is episode number 16. Happy Friday to all of you out there. I've got a very, very special guest this morning, Mr. Corey Christie. I'm going to introduce him in a second. There's a lot of cool things that Corey's going to share with you. We're going to talk about some really things, how we met. A little background on Corey. He is a self-described plant-based health and wellness advocate, a hip-hop head, and he is a free thinker. So we're gonna, let's see if let's get Corey in here. All right, so we'll give Corey a minute to join. In the meantime, if you haven't done already, please remember to subscribe to our podcast. The link to our podcast is in our bio. Every single week, we're adding new guests to the Grow with Greg episode. We don't always want to talk about produce and what we're doing, but we want to open all of our communication and our channels up to the neighborhood, the community, to highlight and spotlight some of the things that others are doing that is just effective as what we're doing. We'll always sprinkle in some new things that's going on here at the farm and things like that, but we want to share the love, and that's part of why we named this segment Grow with Greg. So let's see if Corey is, let's see. Corey hasn't joined just yet. Well, we'll continue. It's a Friday morning in Atlanta. It's pretty chilly out for us here in the South. You know, a lot of people that I talk to and communicate with, they live in the North. Rachel, she's in the North. She laughs every time I talk about it being cold, 40 degrees and below is cold to us. She just kind of chuckles, being that she's from Michigan. But yeah, it's a little chilly, but it is sunny out, no rain, so there's no complaints here. Give you a quick update. We are continuing to do some really cool things at the farm. We've got new plants that are growing. We're testing out blueberries and strawberries. If you haven't heard, they're doing quite well. We'll share more and open that information up to you very shortly here. But thank you all for joining. If you've missed some of the previous episodes, we talk about things like sustainability and what that means as it relates to produce, what the part we play, and how we're trying to make an impact in that regard. We talk about growing your own food and the different methods of being able to do that, whether it's hydroponics, like what we do, aquaponics, aeroponics. There's other methods of growing outside of traditional growing, and there's nothing wrong with traditional growing. Very soon, spring will be here, and a lot of people are starting to get their seedlings ready now for spring. So, and I still grow personally at home, in the backyard. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So we just want to open up and introduce alternative methods, particularly those that allow people to grow inside all year long in a very small space. You don't have to have a bunch of space to do hydroponics, and that's one of the things that we highlight at Produce. Let's see. Peace and love from the Netherlands. All right. Thanks for joining. Let's see, Corey hasn't joined just yet. Well, that's okay, because we'll continue to talk. One of the other things that we like to do is invite you guys to provide suggestions on types of foods that we grow and that can be grown inside of our grow block system. If you guys haven't seen, we make a indoor hydroponic garden system that mimics everything that we do at the farm here. We operate an indoor hydroponic farm. It's in a 2,400 square foot warehouse all year long, but we decided to replicate the farm so that it's kind of packaged in a very small unit that you can stick anywhere essentially. It's 24 inches wide by 24 inches deep, and it's 6 foot tall. And it has the capability of growing 38 plants. You wouldn't believe it, but it's sustainable. It's sustainable for up to 4 people in your family. There's Corey. All right, let's see. Corey, let's see if we can get you in here. All right. Sorry, folks. Give me a second. Corey's going to jump in here just a second. But yeah, that's one of the things we've been working on for years. We've been trying to figure this thing out, and we finally got a product that allows you to do just that. So without further ado, let's there we go. Corey? There he is.
Peace, beloved. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing this morning?
Blessed, King. I want to get over here to where my plants are, but it's like in the center of the home. So I'm in my office right now. It's like kind of the best place for sound and everything.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I appreciate you joining, Corey. I was just giving everybody a little bit of background on who you are, and I was pretty excited, but I was trying to hold off to talk about how we met. And I want to, just kind of jump into what you're doing, who you are, so folks can learn a little bit more about what plant-based is. What I've shared with folks already, you describe yourself as a plant-based health and wellness advocate, a hip-hop head, and a free thinker.
Indeed.
So
yeah.
Tell us, Corey, expand on that. Start with plant-based health and wellness. How did it all start for you?
Well, honestly, that's a big cart before the horse. Honestly, the whole plant-based life came due to a lot of necessities that were happening in my life, where I was living my life. So in my youth, I was blessed with the opportunity to travel a lot of places because of the music that I was creating. I've been a hip hop artist for over 20 years now, releasing music, first under the imprint Brick Records, and then more independently, traveling the world and managing my own affairs. So I've been everywhere doing this music thing, and still do it to this day. But in the midst of doing this, I wasn't taking care of myself, quite honestly, doing the things I needed to do to provide for my body, my mind, and my soul. So a lot of things were being damaged internally, as well as externally. And when I got home from one trip, about 12 to 13 years ago, the one trip I was on in Europe, got home and was feeling crazy, and ended up in the hospital, finding out that I had high blood pressure. And when I recognized that a lot of the environment that I was surrounded in, family, friends, as well as just Black and brown individuals in general, mainly Black people out there deal with high blood pressure, issues with diabetes, cholesterol. And so I wanted to, reverse the trend in my own personal and make sure that I was mindful of the mind frame I was setting up for my young kings and my young queens. So I altered a lot of the state of my existence to step by step transition from eating meat, eating dairy, eating a lot of the things, putting those things in my body that were detrimental to myself, but salt specifically, and a lot of the unhealthy things that were creating the environment for the high blood pressure, was just a part of an issue that was like, that was going to get bigger if I didn't take care of my full health. So I transitioned. I transitioned everything. I was a smoker. I mean, smoking cigarettes. I was a heavy smoker at that time, heavy drinker at that time. Everything that I was putting inside my body was kind of detrimental to my way of thinking, and also my lack of spirituality in my person. So I wanted to alter all that.
Did someone guide you along that path, or was it just self-taught? You researched to find out different ways to do different things? How did you get to that transitional point?
It was an amalgamation of just a bunch of different entities. I'm a deep reader, but also a researcher, and so I also had individuals in my environment who carried themselves a certain way, so I could watch and learn from friends and family members. But then I have the blessings of so many individuals, specifically in hip hop. Like I could look at an individual like Stickman, who is an MC from his group Dead Prez, and the way he transitioned and changed his life for the better, and started teaching individuals, how to have discipline in their eating habits, in their exercise, and in their mental capacity. So like watching him and watching individuals like Styles P from the Locks, who started focusing on natural pharmaceuticals and things of that nature. So individuals within the hip hop realm who were my peers, and also individuals who I looked up to at the same time, because they were doing what I do for a living, and we're living a parallel lifestyle. But you can see relation in the environment that you're walking in. Individuals knowing that we all deal with the same kind of issue. So from them, and then elders in spirit, elders who are here with us, Dr. Sabi for sure was a main focal point for me. Dr. Layla Africa. Then going into because the mental and the spiritual are major aspects of it. So Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Dr. Ben Yochanan and Henry Louis Clark, and the list goes on and on. But there's so many elders who are here with us and in spirit who consistently offer food for mind, body, and soul healing. And more than anything, when my wife came into my life, she came at a period where we both were in a position where we needed healing, and what we offered for one another was just that right element that helped us to, transition in our personals as well.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That's a perfect segue to break and kind of let everybody know how you and I met. Last year, we had a influencer event, and I had the opportunity to meet you and your wife, lovely wife, there last year. And from there, we started conversating, just started talking about different things. And you guys were nice enough to volunteer, trialing out our system, and ever since then, it's been a nice journey just to communicate with you and your wife, and kind of grow and go this road together. So that's been fantastic. And I know I've told you before, but I certainly appreciate you and your wife doing that for us last year. You talked about the process and the transition and the people in your lives. For, again, people that are listening that are wanting to do the same thing, what were some of the major hurdles that you experienced? You used to doing and operating a certain way, but you want to do something better for yourself. What were some of your major hurdles to get over?
A lot of the mindset that I had, preconditioning, and the mindset that developed over years and years of just, things that I had to unlearn. Manners and approaches of even how to wake up in the rising, how to wake up, and the things that we do first when we first wake up, so we can create the process for a great day, and then do it all over again. A lot of that was out the window because when I was overseas or I would be on tour, I would be performing until 4 a.m., waking up at 1 in the afternoon, and getting my day started then, and then doing the same thing over and over again. So my body was used to a certain condition and mindset that was already detrimental and depleting my energy and my ability to consume what is proper. Because when you're up at these late hours, eating past 8 p.m., and obviously way past 8 p.m., I'm finishing a show or getting prepared for a show and going to a corner bodega or going to a food cart and grabbing whatever I could. So it was getting out of the mindset of like what my body was being forced to accept, and dealing with the trauma of my youth and growing up and being taught in school systems and being taught by family members and friends who just didn't know better. Right. Didn't have the proper guidance. Right. So it's a cyclical nature of things that we all go through. And so it's unlearning behaviors that have developed and have been traumatizing to us all. My mom was traumatized, so she's on, pharmaceuticals now, and like she comes to our home now, and we teach her manners of using a hybrid system where, it's like our natural products and natural healing mechanisms can be supportive of the things that she's putting in her body from her doctor's recommendations. Gotcha. So showing that they can work in unison and not be counterproductive towards one another is key for the individuals in our village and for us, for ourselves. And so, it's really, for me, more than anything, unlearning and persistence being the key for development. And one more thing, and I know I can be a bit long-winded, but what I have to say to you is we are absolutely so ecstatic about being a part of what you have put forth for the people. This is wonderful what you do, and I just want to give you your flowers before we go any further, because you jumped in and talked about how we met. And it was phenomenal for us, and we want to say thank you to our brother Shazul King Apron, who has 1,000 names, but he's that guy. He's like kind of a glue for everything. And we're thankful for him for even letting us know about the event that you were having. And after he let us know about the event, it's just been so an upward trajectory dealing with you and talking to you and being blessed by your system.
Likewise. That's exactly what we're here to do, and that's what I was sharing before you came on. That's what we're about. It's not about one person, because we can't do it all. We need a network. We need people that are like-minded thinkers, people that just want to do better, not only for themselves, but their surroundings, their network, their people, their friends. And for us, we think it'll be contagious if we continue this road. It's not going to be an easy one, but it's one that we certainly are very, very dedicated and committed to doing. No question about it. So I appreciate that. Now here's a question, and hopefully you can paint a visual for everybody. The old Corey, the time through your transition to the new Corey, because and what I mean by that, a lot of people think things are supposed to happen immediately. A lot of people feel defeated when it doesn't work the first time, but you kept mentioning continuing, keep at it, the process. Describe to everyone who you were and how you felt, your health and just the mentality versus who you are now, and that change.
Absolutely. That's a great question. As far as, my upbringing coming up in Lawrence, Mass., which is a very small community, in the middle of kind of nowhere. And I think there's a lot of communities like that all across the world, right? Where you feel like you're just kind of like this small location where individuals, everybody knows one another, and you kind of just grow up in a community and develop a certain system. The old version of me was caught up in a location where I didn't think I could even, move beyond the boundaries of my local community and the corner neighborhood, and thought that everything that was around me was all it was going to be. But I knew I had to think bigger than that, and I wanted to get to, see the world and experience more and live a full quality of life. In order to get there, I had to, I guess, I can't give to my mom and dad like some, super flowers. My father in spirit and my mom, who's here with us still, for the fact that, they may have had some persistence in them and some rebellion to the nature of their existence, and that entered me and entered my siblings to want to have a quest and thirst for more. So even though I didn't know the route, I knew that the path I was on, from time to time wasn't the path. I was always thinking that, I wanted to consistently improve who I was as a person. Made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in my life, as we all do. But the biggest thing for me when I talk to my children and when I talk to anyone I love is that, owning our mistakes and knowing that they exist, and being, the true version of you and not the superficial version is what's going to allow us to deal with the realities that we're faced with. So
wow. That's
I had to absolutely, truly be honest with myself about, whatever I was doing, and look myself in the mirror and slow myself down to deal with trauma, to deal with any kind of damage, any type of things that I was doing to be in my own way. A lot of times individuals can tell us, a million times what we're doing wrong, but they're not the message giver. They're not the proper message giver. And it's our ego that would limit us from being able to pass on a message and not get the credit for that message being delivered.
Wow.
Because I mean by that is, I can tell my son something 1,000 times, but I'm not meant to be the message giver. You talk to him one time and he gets it immediately. And so that's what we have to be mindful of. And it was a lot of individuals who gave me jewelry and information that was so powerful and profound that my mom told me, that my wife told me, that a million people told me, but it didn't resonate the same way. It didn't impact me the same way. That's the way the world works. And for me, at least, and I can't say that's for every individual, but I feel that's something that I recognized in myself. And so I said, I got to stunt my ego and allow myself. Many times in my past, I've given people jewelry or I've received jewelry, and I know individuals will get it when they get it. And I guess, that I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But that's from where I was to where I am now. A lot of that has been impactful in making me who I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Corey. And I'm almost certain I can speak for you when I say this. It follows you in every aspect of your life. And to your point, a lot of people will absorb that just because, what's on the inside of us, I'm a true believer, it manifests itself outwardly. Whether it's good or bad, it certainly manifests itself. And I'm convinced that I know that you're spreading that not amongst just your family, your kids, but in every aspect of your life. So that's amazing. I didn't know that, but I'm glad that you shared that so that, it can help somebody, whoever is watching us for whatever reasons those are, they can take some information and share with anybody, something that they can take and impact that it'll make in their lives or anyone else's lives. That's awesome. That's amazing. And that's the type of things that we uncover in these episodes that I don't even know we could start off one path talking about food, plants, whatever, but next thing you know, it's food for spirit and soul, which is amazing. It's amazing.
It is, and what my wife and I, what we're doing with we have a company, Universal Lotus, and our focus is mind, body, and soul healing. And so, just at the right time, like everything that you're on, and we feel like everything falls into place the way it needs to, because when finances don't seem to be in order, or the place you want to be in life, you're not exactly there. It's like when you're chasing after it, that's when it's not coming to you. And like just sitting back and allowing what is supposed to happen to happen, that's when everything works itself out. And I feel
That's
like
right.
getting this connection with you and the connection with King's Apron, Chef Zoo, I think all these things are happening just like they're supposed to. And with our company, we're able to utilize the plants, the natural elements to infuse into the products that we are testing and the things that we're doing, so we can do that. And then it's also beneficial in our life. Like, I'll make me a mint and lime water for the day, and just feel wonderful go right over to to the block and pull some mint off, right in the water, and we'll be like good to go and feel refreshed.
Now let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about your business first, and then we'll transition into what you're growing in the Grow Block. Tell us some more about your business and what you and your wife are doing.
So we are highly focused not only on plant-based eating and living, but incorporating with that the exercise and the nutrition for the mind and the spirit. So heavy in our belief system is Samatawi, which is Kemetic yoga, but also the yoga systems that individuals practice today. We're not so much more the Western versions, but many of the Eastern practices is what we focus on. Meditation, again, very, very key and instrumental in our practice and our personal beliefs, but what we are spreading out to other individuals. And then rituals, being mindful of the elements. So being able to use plant culture, but also focus on the water, the earth, the fire, the air, the ether, and how they interact with the plants and interact with our daily lives, and how we're so forgetful of the need to incorporate them in our 24 hours a day. If that's what we believe, 4 hours, like throughout our day, we need to be very, very cognizant of water and how powerful it is, not just when we put it in our body, but being appreciative of everything that it does for our daily existence. The elements are so paramount. And then, the books that we read, and there's books everywhere here. So the book's focus is for mental nourishment, but also allows us an opportunity to slow everything down for our meditation, free our minds of the metote, or the clouds of smoke that surround us, with everything from electronics to all the different things that are there for distractions and propaganda to into our minds. So the true thing we need to do is put the right nutrition in our mind, body, and surround our spirit with that, and then everything else works itself.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is great to hear. I hope somebody listening can really take something from what you just shared, because it's a personal experience for you, but you broke it down in a way where it's easy to digest. So I appreciate that. Tell us what you're growing. Tell us what you're growing in the Grow Block, and tell us how you're using it. You just mentioned the mint water. Tell us about it.
So mint is absolutely incredible. To we got the sweet mint, and we got just mint itself, and mint is not only refreshing, but like we can use it for for its medicinal and herbal purposes, like just naturally. So in our healing. So personally, we're able to put it in our body on a regular basis to calm and use as a relaxation. But we can also we have machines to infuse in soaps and creams and different salves and what need be to create products for our village and individuals out there who may be in need of home remedies that are not filled with a bunch of chemicals and toxins. So we got the man and we got basil. Basil, very powerful. People put basil inside their food all the time, and that's great. It's very nutritious. It tastes great, but it also has its health benefits. So it's incredible to have the basil on the grow block, and there's some cilantro in there, and parsley, and the peppers and tomatoes. So all these different herbs that are on there, butter lettuce and the green lettuce and the red romaine. So when I get excited, I start rubbing my arms, happiness from all the wonderful greenery that you got that you
That's
provided
awesome.
us with.
Yeah, no, that's
Man,
awesome.
there's a plethora of just wonderful, delightful greenery, and I see yours back there, and I just we're just so excited and thankful.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear. I get a kick out of knowing that not only are you using it, but you're enjoying it. And, they're my babies. So it's like my babies going to good homes and good environments, people like you that take care of it. That makes my day. I'm good to go now.
And we're spreading the message. And the great thing is, we have, we only traveled out of the country once this past year, but we have a few trips already planned for this year, and our intention is to get the word out about what you're doing, everywhere we go. Like we're not the biggest social media individuals, but we do still use our platform, and we are able to utilize it to benefit the other things we do. But the physical interaction and being out and getting with the people is paramount to a lot of the things that we do, person to person. And when we get out to these different trips that we're going to be doing, these different retreats, one of the first things that's going to come out of our mouth is what Produce is providing for the people, what you're doing, and how people need to have them have a grow block. And you are A1 when we're like, listen, this is so beneficial to everybody.
That's awesome. That is great to hear. So if there's anything you want to share with people, we're going to close out, but what is the most important message you want to give to people about what you do, your lifestyle, everything that you're about? What do you want to share?
I would tell individuals, if you're thinking about altering the way you're doing this on a regular basis, don't be deterred by the ebb and flows of things. If you kind of get caught up on the path to a healthier lifestyle, just jump into the fray and take it step by step. I didn't go cold turkey with any of this. I've only been, off of drinking for a little over a year now. But I would tell individuals, whatever it is in your day-to-day life that you feel like you want to surmount any obstacle, it's absolutely doable. Persistence is the key, and switching that mindset, and then we good to go. And I appreciate you so much.
Oh man, that is awesome, Corey. That's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing your story with us, your time. Just, you really opened up, and I know it was beneficial for me. So hopefully everybody else that joined was able to gather something from it too. So folks,
Absolutely.
If there's any thing you want to share in terms of how people can reach you or about your business, here's the opportunity to do it. Where can we find you?
UniversalLotus.com. Go to UniversalLotus.com. You can contact us at contact@UniversalLotus.com. If you have any questions, if you want to do some yoga, if you want to do some meditation, the one-on-one, anything like that, go to universallotus.com or check us out, contact@universallotus.com.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, folks. Corey, thanks again, man. Enjoy the weekend. Tell the wife we said hello. And folks, if you don't know, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Produce for All. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. Thanks, Corey, and I'll be in touch soon for sure.
Brother, appreciate you.
All right. Take care now.